Hi, welcome back to Venture Recaps. Today I will talk about the movie named Men in Black International. Spoilers ahead. In the year 2016, agents H and Hyde arrive in Paris. The two walk to the Eiffel Tower and take the elevator to scan the perimeter. They spot two lovers in the middle of a proposal, and they interrupt anyway. They say that they're the tower security and that some aliens called the Hive are going to devour all of them. They don't get it, but it takes out that neuralizer and wipes their memories. Then they're shown to the exit via the elevator. The two agents get ready for combat when a blast from the skies blows H away. He luckily lands on the elevator and neuralizes them again. He clings onto another elevator and makes his way back up with his guns out, and they slowly approach a hidden chamber. A door is peeping some light through the room, and then some monster with tentacles tries to get out. They immediately start shooting, but we are suddenly taken back to 1996. In a suburban house in Brooklyn, a little girl, Molly Wright, is sleeping while her parents are enjoying their nighttime television show. That's until a sound interrupts him, so the father checks the source of the noise, but he gets freaked out and runs back to his wife. His wife asks him to call the cops, but no cops are that fast. All this stuff wakes Molly up, and she sees out her window that her parents are talking to some people in suits. Molly notices an alien creature next to her, and then sees her parents get neuralized. As she overhears her parents coming up, she frees the little guy through the window. Fast forward a couple of years, Molly's all grown up to be an outstanding law enforcer applying for the FBI. She tells her higher-ups that she'll be applying for the division of guys wearing black suits, but no one has any idea about what she is talking about. She tries to apply for several positions but ends up in customer service. During her job, she had a satellite tracker installed on her laptop, and she notices an anomalous object entering the Earth's atmosphere. She tracks the location of this object and takes the day off. Back at home, she sets up her personal satellite dish and then hacks into NASA's systems to track down the crash location. She takes a cab to where she thinks the crash is going to happen, but no sign of anything. Suddenly, some pigeons reveal the location of the crash, and then she sees all of it: the crashed UFO, the men in black, and the alien being taken away. She trails them to a familiar building and sneaks past the guard. She gets into the elevator, but the talking dog and guards alert the authorities. The elevator traps her, and she's taken in for questioning. Agent O comes in and does a background check on her. After that, they try to neuralize her. Molly makes a plea that it was the same device that wiped her parents' memories but not hers. She claims that she spent 20 years looking for him. Hearing this, Agent O steps in to personally talk to her. Molly says that she wants to get recruited. Furthermore, she says that she has no life or distractions and wants to fill that void. It's quite tragic, but I was slightly convinced. She overlooks her results after 2 weeks of training and passes with flying colors. Now she has a new uniform and a few guns that come along with the job. Soon she gets her first assignment, but she wants that buzzing cylindrical toy called the Neuralizer. O tells her that she's under probation for now, but when she climbs through the ranks, she can get Neuralizer. Molly is given the name Agent M in London. We see H drinking shots in a dark place with men. He jokes around a bit and wins a poker game by grabbing a card from a caged Hydra. H wants to talk business, but the alien doesn't want to deal with the men in black, so he gets subdued. H fights back, and during this whole fiasco, the Hydra breaks out of its cage and starts biting men. H defeats the goons and holds the cerulean alien at gunpoint. But then the Hydra bites him, and only he and his wife have the antidote. The Hydra bites the alien too. A pleads with the alien lady, saying he'll give her anything she wants. And all she wanted was a great night. And on the next morning, H woke up and ran off. M, on the other hand, takes the MIB Secret Express training, where she meets a lot of aliens and agents. She reaches London in a matter of minutes. She gets out of that speedy craft and heads to the new agent orientation at MIB's London Center, where she meets Agent T and the usual men in suits and aliens. She views an overhead screen where she spots a few familiar faces. T invites her to the office, and on her way, she causes a cute alien panic. Afterward, she gets a compass from Agent T for her orientation. In Morocco, a janitor is dancing while mopping the floors until a power outage comes, and he has to fix the circuit breaker. He gets up to the panel, but he is unable to fix it. Behind him, two intergalactic beings stalk him and kill him. After that, they disguise themselves as him. The next day, the two come to a store and threaten the clerk, stating they want to see the Queen. They're taken out to the back where tiny frog-like creatures respond to them. They said they wanted to eliminate someone and show the target's picture, but the tiny knight says they go do assassinations as part of their treaty agreement. This ticks the two off and shows them their power. Somewhere else, H is driving down to a local store and meets the clerk, Charlie. He's the guard for the entrance to MIB's underground facility, where M was getting acquainted with their history. Nerline, an alien, slows down and manipulates time to take a good look at H and finds out that H had saved the world once from the Hive. M storms off to try and do some of her homework. While there's a senior agent meeting about the Morocco incident, H comes in late and has a debate with one of his fellow agents. Then they talk about the alien of interest named Fungus. H says that Fungus is of Jababian origin and he wants to be shown a good time on Earth. H seems to know a lot about Fungus as he hung out with him before. Later, H is snoozing at his desk when M approaches him and starts introducing herself, offering her help for the Jababian job. M has a dossier on the Jababian race, but H isn't really interested. Upon hearing that, M walks away. Then H looks at that dossier and changes his mind. The next night, M and H make their way down a dimly lit alleyway. H seems to be quite familiar with the place. They adjust their uniforms to appear more relaxed before hopping into a back alley's cab, which is the secret entrance to the club. Upon entering, they are greeted with a lively atmosphere of humans and aliens and loud music. A calls out to Fungus and introduces him to M. However, their introduction gets off to an awkward start as Fungus hits on M in his local language, and M understands him. Later, Fungus invites M to dance, but she declines and has some reservations towards H, feeling like he's pimping her out to Fungus. H just wants to complete the mission properly and give Fungus a good time. Suddenly, the two intergalactic beings appear in the club. Fungus mentions that he will be going home the following day and hints at something important that H needs to hear. However, H feels more inclined to dance. Suddenly, the intergalactic guys start dancing and M notices the two while Fungus tells H that he's the only one he could trust. The attackers send out a little particle that hits Fungus, so he has to leave because he's not feeling good. He drives off, but the car explodes. They rush to the crash, and the intergalactic guys are seen going to the crash. M and H hold them at gunpoint, then they ask them to put their palms down on the ground. But they slowly reshake the ground and hit the agents with a wave. H orders M to get more guns from the car to keep shooting, but it looks like they're absorbing the shots. M goes to check on Fungus while H covers her. Fungus says that H has changed, so he tasks M with hiding a gem. He says that something's wrong with MIB and then succumbs to his wounds while H shoots a missile and the backup arrives. The two guys disappear into thin air. Agent C then asks what happened, and he's surprised to find M here since she's still on probation. They can't seem to explain to C what happened, so they're called back to T's office. He is talking with Jababian's higher-ups who are angry at them. C comes in and provides T with a forensic report. It appears that the twins are a species called the Dyad. Agent C calls for H and M's termination and neuralization, but M tells Agent T that there might be a traitor amongst the ranks. H is told to go find the Dyad twins, while Agent M is tasked to work with him. A then gets a scolding because he wasn't acting to standard, but he apologizes for his behavior. Hyde agrees, so H goes to CC, and MM says that she was about to deconstruct the substance found at the crime scene, but H knows where to find it. The two take the hypersonic train to Morocco, then they head for a shady-looking mechanic's shop. H meets with his old friend Nasser, who is working on an alien tech bike. They also meet Basim, who's Nasser's living alien beard. Nasser and Basim talk about H the Alien X, who's a good businesswoman. H doesn't want him to pry into his private life, and then they leave. Back at HQ, C gets surveillance video and sees Fungus handing over the gem to M. Meanwhile, back in Morocco, the two guys show up. As the agents arrive outside his shop, they discover that the shopkeeper has been killed. They head to the back of the shop, only to find that all the aliens are dead too. Suddenly, a small alien opens fire on them. This little guy is a pawn and doesn't even have a name, so M decides to give him a name, Pawnee. With the queen gone, Pawnee says that he should kill himself, but he quickly realizes that it's a useless idea. The agents manage to convince him not to go through with it. Despite his initial dislike for them, Pawnee agrees to accompany them. He even pledges his loyalty to M, saying that if M perishes before him, he will take his own life. As they leave, M wants to tell H about the gem she got from Fungus. Unfortunately, the agency also knows about it and comes after them. C is the head of this entire operation. C reveals to T that Fungus stole the gem from the Jababian military. T asks him to carry on and requests that C brings the two traitors straight to him. Then T calls H in a secret call, telling them to get out of there and hints that there could be a mole in the MIB, specifically looking at Agent C. H goes to draw the other agents' attention away from them. M, on the other hand, doesn't know she's being stalked by the twins. A comes into Nasser's shop and borrows the bike. The Dyad twins are right behind M, and H comes to save her. She hops on that hoverbike, and they fly high, and they take a nosedive crashing into the local market. M asks A to just drive while she neuralizes civilians. H activates the hyperdrive and escapes, but they land in desert dunes. They drop the gem in the sand, and it starts to wiggle around. Suddenly, it transforms into a weapon, and figures out that it has a super compressed star for a core. To test it out, M sets it to the lowest setting and shoots it, which creates a massive canyon in the desert. Meanwhile, tensions are rising at MIB headquarters as a bit of tension ensues between C and High T. In the desert, the star weapon turned back into a gem, and H asks why Vungus gave it to M at first. She beats around the bush, and she eventually reveals that Vungus didn't trust him anymore because he felt like he changed. They have an argument, but then Bassam shows himself and steals the gem. H knows Bassam's going to sell that gem to the most lethal weapon merchant in the galaxy, his ex-girlfriend. Once they fix the hoverbike, they set the course for her home. She lives on Fortress Island. H goes up to the fortress with a surrendering gesture and meets Luca, an alien bodyguard. He meets Riza, the infamous weapon-mongering merchant, and H's ex-girlfriend. On the boat, M emerges sneakily. H offers Pawnee as a peace offering to Riza, and she likes him. Apparently, H was originally assigned to take her down, but he fell for her instead. This is all being overheard by M while she's scaling a cliff. Riza is flattered, but she knew about H's plan and she asks Luca to throw him out. But H manages to sneak back in. Meanwhile, Pawnee was distracting Riza, providing the perfect opportunity for M to retrieve the gem. However, a fight broke out between M, Riza, and Pawnee. At the same time, H fights with Luca. Eventually, Riza ordered Luca to kill everyone. M found out that Luca was a Tarantian, and she remembered the alien she saw when she was young. Luca recognized Male as well. As a result, Riza was forced to give up the gem. They all left peacefully, but their momentary respite was short-lived when the twins arrived. They had come for that weapon and claimed that they were trying to protect their own planet. Suddenly, T and the MIB appeared and obliterated the twins. It congratulated the two, and they headed back to HQ, where they planned to keep the weapon safe. However, Ev and M felt like the celebration was hollow, so I tried to look for the Dyad case file, but it had been deleted. As they searched for the Jababian weapon, they discovered that Agent T was the imposter all along. C revealed that he was heading for Paris. The two agents then went off in a flying Lexus, and C called to inform A that the Hive was back. Once again, they arrive at the Eiffel Tower, only to discover that T had neuralized H during the first fight with the Hive. They meet T, who revealed his plan to give the weapon to the Hive. T then transformed into a gruesome alien. During the fight, M gets sucked into a portal, but Pawnee saves her. H manages to get the weapon, and M fires that weapon at max, setting totally obliterating T and the Hive. Agent O comes to Paris as well. It becomes a regular agent, and H gets promoted to the head of the London branch. God offers to take 8 back in the flying Lexus, and they fly away. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Men in Black International. We hope you enjoyed reliving this piece of art. If you want to keep up with our latest movie recaps and reviews, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Don't forget to leave a comment below to let us know which movies you want us to recap next, and feel free to share this video with your friends and family who love movies as much as we do. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.